guys, welcome to Office Blokes Reacts. I am Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
Hi, I'm Office Bloke Daz. Hi.
Collectively, we are the Office Blokes.
And it's weekend.
It's almost a weekend. It's Friday afternoon. We're filming this. A week until we launch the Try Channel.
Yes.
Office Blokes Try.
Officially. Yeah. And one of us is rocking some amazing merch, aren't they?
Amazing.
Sweet.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Link in the description if you want me on one nipple, Daz on the other, and Mike in your cleavage, then go for it.
And if you want to buy the women's leggings, my positioning is excellent.
Yeah, someone needs to buy the leggings and send us a picture because it's
Definitely.
hilarious.
We need a live
really
shot, don't we?
Yeah, so link in the description for the merch. And we've got a Patreon as well, haven't
Yes, we have got a Patreon. You're absolutely right.
That's it. Cheers, guys. Every state in the US, I've been to one.
Nevada.
That's it. No, Nevada. That's it.
I've been quite a lot.
Have you been to the US, Mike?
No, I've been to none.
Well, I've drove
Never
the whole of the
ventured
eastern
there
seaboard.
Right, okay.
So I've drove from New Jersey up to Vermont and Maine, and I've drove all the way down to Florida, and I drove from New Jersey to Texas when I moved there.
So you've seen a lot of it.
I've seen a lot of but I've also visited a lot of other states as well. We work.
Are you one of those people who likes to stop off on a long journey and, see a bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took me 2 weeks to drive from New Jersey to Houston. Just
That's the way to do it, isn't it? Yeah.
Seeing a lot of the country.
You might as well enjoy it. So I don't know what this is going to be. Is it hopefully it's not just going to be like Alaska.
Go on then.
Do you want me to name all the states?
Oh no, I thought you were going to ask her.
No. I hope it's not just going to list the states. I want a little bit of culture.
I'm sure they're going to give you culture.
Yeah.
I'm just going to 30 minutes long. It'll take about a minute.
The guy might talk as slow as me.
I hope not.
Yeah, let's do it. Right, every state in the US.
Yeah, talks as slow as you.
It's the oversimplified guy, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
It's a really familiar voice, that. Is he the oversimplified or one of the other videos?
Like
Could be.
literally 2 seconds out of time
It could
to
be the one
decipher it.
the history of the world ever, or whatever it was called.
Over Productions and made possible by the Great Courses Plus. We'll start with Alabama, the first state alphabetically. Magnolia Springs, Alabama is the only town in America to have their mail delivered by boat, although the longest mail delivery route in America is in rural Oklahoma, where delivery drivers have to drive 187.6 miles each day to deliver.
Imagine our drivers doing that.
No chance. You have to.
That's a week's work,
You
isn't
have
it?
to have like 12 months to cover that distance, wouldn't you?
Oh, Jesus. Can you imagine?
You never get to play Candy Crush.
I know.
mail to around 200 houses. Oklahoma's state vegetable is the watermelon, which happens to be a fruit. And Oklahoma is also home to Kansas, the town. The real Kansas, or more specifically this point, is the geographic center of the contiguous United States. What Kansas is not home to is Kansas City, which counterintuitively is in Missouri, where the population center of the U.S. is, the average location of every American. Missouri borders 8 states, and is therefore tied with Tennessee as the state that borders the most other states. Tennessee was a southern state that seceded from the United States and joined the Confederacy, except for Scott County, which seceded from Tennessee and formed the unrecognized independent state. Scott County didn't actually officially rejoin Tennessee until 1986. Tennessee's western border was originally defined by the course of the Mississippi River, which has since changed course, which has led to all these enclaves and exclaves of the 2 states on the 2 sides of the river. The Arkansas River, a major tributary of the Mississippi, begins all the way in Colorado, where nobody's entirely sure which mountain is the tallest, Mount Elbert or Mount Massive, since their heights are within 10 feet of each other and people keep building piles of.
I'm going to say Mount Massive. It sounds bigger.
It does sound bigger, doesn't it? Yeah. Definitely.
Building bloody walls at the top of them to make it higher.
Well, you do like trig points, in it, if everyone throws a rock on a point when they go mountaineering and stuff. I don't know about 10 foot though, that's pretty big.
Rocks on the summits to make one mountain taller than the other. Colorado is also home to America's longest continuous street, Colfax Avenue in Denver, at 26 miles long. But the shortest individually named street in America is reportedly McKinley Street in Bellefontaine, Ohio, at a mere 28 feet long. Ohio's northernmost point is actually north of Canada's southernmost point, Pelee Island. Pelee Island, Canada, in fact, is farther south than parts of 27 states, including California, which as a state has a higher population than the entire country of Canada. Los Angeles, California, despite being on the Pacific Ocean, is east of 6 state capitals, including Nevada's. Nevada has the point in the entire United States where you're farthest from a McDonald's, only 116 miles. Although Nevada is not the state with the fewest McDonald's. That title goes to the state with 29 McDonald's, North Dakota, which according to some legal experts wasn't technically a state until 2012, since their constitution was missing this sentence, which meant it didn't fulfill the federal requirement for statehood. Despite having the fewest McDonald's, North Dakota is not America's least populated state. That's Wyoming, which has 2 sets of escalators in the entire state.
What?
Wyoming is well known for...
Wait a minute. 2 sets of escalators in the whole state.
Wow.
One in, one out.
Yeah, it's just one shop, isn't it? Yeah.
Might not be in a shop. Might be in the airport.
These modern future folks came and just built one.
Yeah.
Might not be in the shop, though. Might be an airport or something.
Could be.
If you're going to do an airport, you don't just do 2 sets of escalators, though, do you? Or 2 escalators.
It'd have to be more than that, wouldn't it?
Wow.
Must be loads of bungalows there, mustn't there?
Do you have an escalator in your house?
May have done. I don't have a bungalow.
May have an Instagram, may have an escalator.
I know, right?
Mike's balling.
I know.
It's in Yellowstone National Park, although a bit of it spills over into Idaho. Though in this section, you can get away with murder. You see, with the 6th Amendment, if you're placed on trial, it's required that you are judged by a jury of your peers, which means individuals from the same state and federal district as where the crime was committed. Yellowstone is its own federal district, meaning you need residents from Yellowstone to be on the jury. Although if you were in the Idaho part, you need Yellowstone residents from Idaho to be on the jury. Except this 50 square mile section is entirely uninhabited, so they wouldn't be able to form a jury, which means you'd walk free.
So you can kill people in Yellowstone?
In that part, yeah. That's what he said.
Wow.
How bizarre.
I'd love to go to Yellowstone as well. And before I knew
I'll come with you if you want. I'll come with you if you want. We'll go for a walk.
Yeah, I bet you will, yeah. Yeah. It's also a supervolcano, isn't it, Yellowstone?
I don't know.
The whole thing.
The
whole thing's a supervolcano that they reckon could be like an extinction level event if it was to go off, because it would cover the whole sky for the whole world in ash and everything would just die off.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Let's hope it don't happen then.
I hope not.
Also one single road connecting the entire southern section of Idaho to the northern section. Idaho, with its fairly low population, has one single telephone area code for the whole state, just like neighboring Montana. Montana is home to the least busy commercial airport in the US, Dawson Community Airport, at 4,000 passengers per year, or about 11 per day. Missoula, Montana is also home to the warehouse of DFTBA, where you can buy one of these, a Wendover Productions t-shirts for only $20.
Nice.
It's the busiest airport in America.
We need some
is Atlanta's
segues like that,
at
don't we?
49 million passengers per year, or 135,000 per day. Peachtree, a suburb of Atlanta, is a community that has 90 miles of golf cart specific roads adjacent to its normal roads, since 9,000 families here have golf carts as their second cars. Kids are even encouraged to drive to school from the age of 12 in their golf carts.
Whoa.
Georgia, or more specifically Springer Mountain, Georgia, is the start to the 2,200-mile-long Appalachian Trail, which is a hiking trail that terminates all the way up at Mount Katahdin, Maine. Maine is the only state in America to only border one other state, and it's also the closest state to Africa. Seriously, it's closer than Florida. The second closest state to Africa is Massachusetts, or more specifically, Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
But that only works if the Earth is in fact round, and we all know it's flat. So it's miles away from Africa.
Don't you start.
No? I'm joking.
Which is technically an island, since a man-made canal separates it from the mainland. Massachusetts is actually farther from Miami than Panama City is. And Miami is closer to the country capitals of Nassau, Bahama, and Havana, Cuba than its own state capital, Tallahassee.
Wow.
Florida has the lowest highest point of any state, 312 feet, 23 times lower than...
I had to think about that for a second, the lowest highest point
high
of
point,
any
yeah.
state. I was like, well, that's not a phrase you hear very often, is it?
South Dakota's highest point. South Dakota is home to the geographic center of the entire United States, if you include Alaska and Hawaii, and it was made a state a mere 9 days before Washington, which was called Columbia before it became a state. Its name was changed as to not confuse it with the District of Columbia, but obviously that didn't work out, since DC City ended up being called Washington. Washington Place is the official residence of Hawaii's governor, and Hawaii was given its own unique currency during World War II that was its only legal tender, so that, in case the Japanese successfully invaded Hawaii, the federal government could declare all of Hawaii's currency worthless to prevent the Japanese from using it. The closest state to Hawaii is Alaska, whose capital, Juneau, has no roads connecting it with the rest of Alaska or North America, meaning you can't drive in or out. Alaska is also one of the 4 states that completely bans outdoor billboards, along with Hawaii, Maine, and Vermont, whose tallest building is only 11 stories tall. That's the tallest building of any state. The tallest building in the states is Freedom Tower in New York. New York is home to Ellis Island, or at least part of it. Their territory is completely surrounded by New Jersey, similar to Liberty Island, home to the Statue of Liberty, which is completely surrounded by New Jersey waters, which means you need to travel through New Jersey to get from New York to New York. Clinton Road in West Milford, New Jersey has America's longest red light, a full 5-minute wait. New Jersey actually goes...
That'd be
We
wild.
cannot
Imagine
let that one go.
No.
Five minutes.
I'd be jumping up and down. I'd be going mad.
I'm bibbing the guy as soon as it goes to orange over
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
I'm like, baby, come on.
You get there just as it goes red as well. And you're like, 5 minutes.
5 minutes. What a wind up.
Is it going to be? Do you reckon it's going to be one of these like crazy cross-country trains that's got like 500 carriages?
Oh, possibly.
Maybe you're waiting for that.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Because it can't just be 5 minutes and it's a T-junction.
You'd think,
You
traffic
go mad.
management would be able to sort that out,
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
you, really, and get
Yeah.
a bit less than 5 minutes, but
That's crazy,
Yeah.
though, isn't it?
yeah.
surprisingly far south, farther south than Kentucky's northernmost point. In its southwest corner, Kentucky has a rather large piece of territory that's not actually connected to the rest of Kentucky. Kentucky was the birthplace of Lincoln, who was later elected to the Illinois House of Representatives, and in Illinois is the original Burger King. But it's not the Burger King you're thinking of. This Burger King existed before this Burger King, and therefore sued Burger King when they came to Illinois for trademark infringement and won. So now no Burger King is allowed to operate within a 20-mile radius of this original Burger King.
Oh.
That's nuts. And I know I'm pausing it quite a lot here, but there's a chippy in Alty that was called McDonald's, and it was the family name McDonald.
Yeah.
And little local chippy, just family run thing, got sued by the whole of McDonald's to change the name. And it's like I think the chippy actually won. It's
Did
the,
they?
the one near the
Oh,
market
okay.
because it's the family name, and I think the chippy had been there in the family for generations.
Yeah.
But yeah, they actually
Oh,
big
amazing.
corporation suing a little local chippy. I'm happy about
how
that.
rude.
Sainsbury's
Yeah.
did it.
Did they?
Yeah, with that Mr. Singh. He changed his name to Singsbury's. And he had the same logo and everything. And I think he won.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he did it exactly. The writing was exactly the same.
Yeah.
I tell you what, it's a bit rich going from supermarkets, isn't it? When you look at all the stuff, their own brands, and they all look exactly the same
Precisely.
as the top brands,
Yeah.
don't they?
Yeah.
So it's a
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
rich from them, I think.
Yeah.
Chicago, Illinois, America's 3rd largest city, is just a tad bit larger than the 4th largest city, Houston, Texas. And Texas is so enormous that El Paso, Texas is closer to Los Angeles than it is to Houston, Texas.
Wow.
Texas's northernmost point is also closer to Michigan than it is to its southernmost point. From Detroit, Michigan, you actually end up in Canada if you travel due south. And Michigan is the only state to be made of 2 entirely separated sections. Michigan's Highway 185 is actually a bike path, making it the only official highway in America where cars are banned. Michigan's Upper Peninsula is also only connected by land to Wisconsin, which is home to the Green Bay Packers, a team so popular that the waiting list for season tickets is 30 years long.
Wow.
It's so long that it's common for parents to put their kid's name on the list as soon as they're born. In Watertown, Wisconsin is Utah Street, but the real Utah has the longest section of interstate in the US with no gas stations, 106 miles on I-70. I-70 ends over 2,000 miles away in Baltimore, Maryland, and the entire state of Maryland has 0 natural lakes. It also has this panhandle that reaches a minimum width of 1.8 miles before expanding back out to 30 miles width out near West Virginia, which is definitively a southern state, but also has this panhandle that reaches as far north as New York City and Nebraska. Monowi, Nebraska is the only incorporated municipality in the United States that has a population of 1. The one resident, Elsie Eiler, is mayor and runs the library and tavern, which is granted a liquor license every year by Elsie herself. Tortilla flat.
It's a monopoly, innit?
Good on her.
So there's no residents, so the library
She's
is
the
just,
sheriff as well.
Yeah. And she arrests herself for getting pissed up in the tavern.
Then lets herself off in the morning.
Yeah. When she's serving drinks to herself, she's like, "You've had enough." Takes her car keys off herself. That's awesome.
Arizona is 6 times larger than Monowi since it has 6 residents, and Arizona also has 1/4 of the Four Corners Monument, the only point where 4 states meet in the US. Arizona, Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico, which as a state, by law, still recognizes Pluto as a planet. New Mexico is typically the last state to vote in presidential primaries, whereas Iowa is usually the first. Iowa is the only state in the US whose eastern and western borders are both water, in this case rivers. The eastern border is the Mississippi River, which happens to be the namesake for Mississippi. The Mississippi River also flowed backwards for a full 24 hours in 2012 during Hurricane Isaac, but the Mississippi doesn't actually reach the ocean in Mississippi. It does so in Louisiana, home to the longest bridge over water in the world at 24 miles. That's so long that for 8 of those miles, you can't even see land on either side. One of the other longest bridges in the US is in North Carolina, the Virginia Dare Memorial Bridge, which carries cars out to Kitty Hawk, where the Wright brothers successfully flew a heavier-than-air aircraft for the first time in history. It was a 12-second, 120-foot flight. That's shorter than the wingspan of a Boeing 747. North Carolina's southern neighbor is South Carolina, although South Carolina isn't all that south, since more than half of it is north of North Carolina's southernmost point, and South Carolina also has a town called North, making it North South Carolina. South Carolina was the site of the first Civil War battle, and the Civil War ended up having a total of 1 battle over in Indiana, where the Indy 500 Speedway is, which is so enormous that you could comfortably fit the entire country of the Vatican inside it. It can also fit 400,000 people, which is the highest capacity of any sports arena in the world. Indiana's state beverage is water, while Oregon's is milk. Portland, Oregon is also home to the world's smallest park, according to the Guinness World Records book.
That's a roundabout.
I bet you're banned from that one as well.
That is a roundabout. I'm not having that. I've heard quite a lot of comedians say that when they tour Portland, Oregon, they're completely different types of people. You'll have to let me know in the comments section.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of hipsters, but lots of very not nice people as well.
Really?
So the crowds are really bad. I've never been, so that's not my
I've never
opinion.
been to Oregon.
It's also one of the few states to not have a sales tax, along with New Hampshire, the only state to have no law requiring adults to wear seatbelts. Connecticut Lake, in New Hampshire, is the source of the Connecticut River, which is what Connecticut, the state, is named after. Hartford, Connecticut's airport, at less than 3 million passengers per year, is the smallest airport in the US to have a direct flight to Europe. Delaware, on the other hand, certainly doesn't have a direct flight to Europe, since it's the only state that you can't fly to. There's not one commercial flight in or out of this tiny state. It's the second smallest state behind Rhode Island, which is so small that the entire state grows by 3% during low tide. Rhode Island's second largest city, Warwick, shares its name with Warwick, Pennsylvania, and in Pennsylvania is Centralia, where the ground has been on fire since 1962 due to a coal mine fire, and it's expected to burn for over 200 years.
Wow.
Pennsylvania borders Minnesota. Well, not really, but Pennsylvania Avenue does intersect Minnesota Avenue in DC, and Minnesota is home to the northernmost point in the lower 48. You see, most of the US-Canada border is defined by the 49th parallel, but a surveying error led to this. The couple hundred residents of this area, called the Northwest Angle, are completely cut off from the US and need to pass into Canada, then back into the United States to go to school. Also in northern Minnesota is Virginia.
But it's freezing there in the winter.
I bet it's up there, isn't it? Must
It's
be.
proper cold.
Yeah, proper winter.
This is a lot of information to take in,
Isn't
which
it?
is really it's a lot more interesting than I thought.
Yeah,
was gonna
same.
be from
When
the
it
beginning,
started,
to
I
be
thought,
honest.
all right, yeah.
Yeah.
Town, but Virginia, the state, is massive. So massive that Ewing, Virginia is closer to 8 other state capitals than to its own state capital, Richmond. Alexandria, Virginia is actually closer to Toronto, Canada than it is to Ewing, Virginia. Virginia also happens to go farther west than West Virginia. Virginia is also home to this place, the headquarters of the teaching company who run the Great Courses Plus. And with that super smooth transition, I do have to thank the Great Courses Plus for sponsoring this video.
This guy's smooth.
Yeah, he's
Really
very
good
good.
transition
His
there,
little
yeah.
segues there.
I reckon that's going to be it. Yeah. That was great. I really
Brilliant.
enjoyed that, actually.
Just goes to show the size, the sheer
Yeah, it's absolutely
volume
enormous,
of the
isn't it?
USA.
Yeah, absolutely enormous. But that guy's great, isn't he? The way he does it and the way he's tied everything together going on one state and then, yeah.
I'd love to see
Really
one that's
good.
like that, but it's the history of like the place names and stuff, because he said Warwick is named after somewhere in Pennsylvania, and I'm thinking about Warwick Castle in the UK, and it'd be interesting to know. I know there's a lot of Native American named places, there's a lot of English named places. You know,
Yeah. There is lots
that'd
of them,
interest me
yeah.
quite a lot, to be fair.
Yeah. Go online, Google it.
I don't want to do the research. I want to watch a video. Who wants to do research?
I think there's a load of sort of like English or British places over there, isn't there? That,
Oh yeah, name
from
a city
over here
in England, and there's a
one
city,
over there.
a city or a town or something in America.
of course.
Isn't there?
Yeah.
Coventry.
I bet there is. Coventry,
We're looking
USA.
that one up.
Let us know. But I bet there is. I put money on it. Put a tenner on it.
Fair enough.
I enjoy things like
Big
that.
money. It was good.
It's the size, the sheer enormity.
Enormity. That one.
An enormity.
Yeah. It's
of the country that just gives you,
It's mind-boggling, isn't it?
and every state's different as well. Don't know.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, one of them's there, the other one's there.
No, but in culture, I guess, as well. Don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess a lot of them are similar,
Yeah.
but they probably all have their own little things.
I think that is too big to be a country. It really, when you
It's
look
working.
at the difference in people and the distances and everything like that, it seems like multiple countries within a continent sort of thing. That's
yeah.
more what
Yeah,
it
yeah.
seems like.
When I drove from New Jersey to Texas, you know, you were stopping in places like, I mean, first stops were like West Virginia, and you know, you're going through the Appalachians and things like that, and then you see as the further sort of like west you go and south, how it changes. And we were kind of going across, then down, then up a little bit, then across again, and back on ourselves, and down again.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, took our time, just sort of like pinpointing. I mean, just winged it. We didn't plan it.
Yeah.
We just when we
did
stayed in
you?
a hotel, we were like, right, let's see where else we can go tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then we find somewhere to
Pick
go,
a
and some of
place
the
and go
places were
for
just
it.
incredible.
Yeah.
Nice.
I bet that was great, that.
Yeah.
That was
Nice
really good.
people as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I had a fantastic. I love living in America. We were there 12 years, like I say, and it was probably the best 12 years of our life.
Wow,
I
really?
was there for somewhere to live. Yeah.
You didn't pick up the accent.
No, kids did. Kids had a bit of an American accent
Yeah.
for a long time, and that's gone now. And as you know,
Pretty much.
yeah, you still
Pretty
hear some
much.
of it, don't you? With them,
Yeah. Just some little bits of
odd one,
pronunciation.
yeah. But
But no one's perfect, are they? So.
with a New Jersey accent. Yeah. Anyway, hope you guys like that too. Don't forget, like and subscribe, hit the bell. Tell you what else you can do as well. You can follow us on Instagram.
Oh, yeah?
Office Bloke Daz.
And I'm Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
What, on Instagram?
No.
I know what
Office
Mike
Bloke
is on
Mike.
Instagram. He wasn't lying. He's actually got one.
I'll have to do an Office Bloke Mike one.
He's got one follower and he follows 10,000
That's me.
half-naked women.
Who's following him? The police.
Yeah.
Anyway, see you guys on the next one.
Cheers,
Take care.
guys.
Cheers.